And it took a little bit long to get back. But now, finally, I'm going to be talking about the type of working that is called a cord cutting. What is a cord cutting? Simply put, it's essentially you're removing any kind of attachment or anything that is attached to you. It could be even as something as simple as an attachment to somebody that you had a romantic bond with, an attachment to something that like somebody is manipulating your emotions, an attachment that someone is affecting you in a way that you don't want, or somebody is actually doing vampirism on you and it's like a constant thing. This is actually deceptively simple. Hello, Z. And specifically, primarily the best way to do cord cutting is to actually do it by visualization. That's the best way. But again, the way that the occult and magic works, you can do it however the heck you deem fit. But since doing cord cutting usually involves you and somebody else that you have to visualize, and then a cord between you two. Yeah. I got this shirt. Oh god, when did I get this shirt? Back in 2012? 13-ish? Around there? Yeah. Still fits, like nothing. So, cord cutting. Like I said, simplistic way, all you really need technically is just yourself. And your visualization. And to be able to just visualize and use your hands. Technically, that's all you need. So, there's a little shoe in my way, and I just gave it the boot, now it's gone. So, essentially, I'm going to try and go from like the most simplistic to like the more like, okay, we're getting a little bit cray-cray here in difficulty. So, most simplistic way. Essentially, by visualizing, you have whomever you think is having an attachment to you. It's either they can have attachment to you, they may not. Either way, you feel that this potentially may have this connection that somebody else is putting on you and affecting you. Either way. Even if they don't, well, insurance, like, okay, double tap, make sure, okay, nope. It's better to have the security for yourself, knowing that, okay, that attachment's not there. Oh, they didn't have it in the first place. Oh, insurance. But either way, the most simplistic way is to have the visualization having you and then whomever you believe or actually does have the attachment to you on the like a little bit away from you. And in between you there's this cord, however you want to color it, however you want to make it look. You can make it all fancy smashy, or you can make it be like this obnoxious dark thing. I'm not going to say make it like a tentacle, because we are not going to bring hentai into this. Please, no. None of that, please. But either way, this cord is linking you two, and you don't want it anymore. All you simply have to do is visualize that cord in between you two. Take your hand with that and visualize just grabbing that cord. Just like that. Pull off. Just that simple. Somebody has an attachment on you and you don't want it anymore. Visualize just looking down at it like it's in your torso. Pluck it right out. Fling it. Just like that. So simple. Because, to break it down some more, even though you're not cutting it, you're kind of getting a hold of it and just pulling it out. It's not attached to you anymore. Literally. It's right here now. Gone. Hi, Kayla. But seriously, that's how simple it can be. I think somebody has an attachment on me. I think it's time. Okay. Nope. And even though technically it's not cutting, it's still separating. It's separating your link between you and whomever you believe is trying to have it attached on you. Just... Or if you want to be extra crazy, just start ripping it to parts. You can do that too. Moving it up a bit. You can use selenite. If you happen to have a selenite knife that's actually shaped into a shape of like a knife, yep. Except instead of it being like at the torso, or like even if it's a heart attachment, same way. But for mental, if you believe that something is mentally messing with you and has an attachment there, just visualize in front of you what you believe is doing it. Visualize the culprit trying to, get attached to you, and you don't want an obsessive fanboy 24/7. Just grab the connection that you're visualizing onto your head between you two. Just grab it, pluck it out, throw it out, or snap it in two. Most of the time, doing occult and doing magic, sometimes just keeping it simple is all you need to do. But if you want to get fancy, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being fancy. In fact, I like being fancy. We're coming from somebody who's magical, so what do you expect? In both the literal and the way. So, moving it up a bit. Selenite. Selenite is essentially the stone that is so pure that anything malefic or baneful can't even affect it. So strong that it comes towards it, it doesn't even do anything to it. So this attachment that you don't want, it's energetically malefic or baneful to you. You can just use a plain selenite stick, or if you have a selenite pen, selenite wand, selenite spike, have the attachment that's like between you and visualizing. Good. Because there's so many ways of doing it. Even if it's like a spirit, or like an entity that's attached to you, and you can't really pick up on them, whenever you get that feeling that you believe that there's something there, like here's a good example. Say if I'm standing my own business, and then there's an entity messing with my head behind me. I know it's there, and I know what it's doing, but every time that I try and do something, it just doesn't work. Well, say if he's trying to mess with my mind. Like if it's like right here and it's trying to attach and just completely mess me up. Grab it, pluck it, fling it. Okay. Pluck. Like if someone actually was like if it's within you, but now you're just plucking it out and then just, because all that's left of this this cord, they're still attached to it. You're not. Pluck it out. When you pluck something out of you and somebody's still attached to it, it's just like the thing with a flail or something that's on a rope tied to it, like a ball and chain. The ball and chain is going to go with it wherever you throw it. Yeah. And even also, like say if you have something messing with your mentality and you actually visualize that the cord's like right here. Just like that. Or if you want to be, or if it's in the back, like if you're visualizing that it's behind your head. But, don't whack yourself. That's not recommended. But now when we get to the stuff that can be probably the most overkill, but also make the most sense, but also at the same time, depending on how you have your lovely anthem charged and blessed and intentionalized, it just depends. Because this lovely little thing, if you've seen my video about a response to Black Witch Coven, this is the lovely blade that I've had since 2018, conveniently also named Famine, if it'd be so kind to come out. This is actually what I would use if I wanted to do a cord cutting and actually make sure it stayed off. Because this thing is only used for any kind of magical workings that involve something having its protections completely decimated, or a type of working that is meant to actually have something kick a bucket and help the daisies get pushed up, putting it in a cutesy way. Other than that, this blade is not really meant for anything else. So when this thing comes out, at least for me, it's serious. So, just like before in that video, and I'll explain again, whenever I'm about to use this blade, it can't do anything because it hasn't been charged. It's just like if it's a dead weight. So it needs to have an intention put on it. Now there's a total of 2 specific oil mixtures that I use when using this thing. It's not a toy. Some guy thought it'd be cutesy to take a hold of it and start swinging it around, and then, whoops, uh-oh. He had some heart complications and almost had a heart attack. Don't look at me. I tried to tell him, please don't touch that knife. That's not a toy. Oh man, no bro, it's not gonna do anything bad. Honey, don't touch the knife. You're just too paranoid, dude. Nothing's gonna happen to me. A few hours later. Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh, almost had a heart attack there, dude. Tried to warn him. Don't look at me, I wasn't the idiot. I'm gonna grab a thing of paper real quick, because I'm gonna need that. Alright, so. And the reason why I'm grabbing this is because this one is safe for the skin. This one can go on the skin. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. This one is safe for the skin. This one is not. No. So, say now, since, I'm not breaking any shields, right here, I'll show show a close-up of it. If it was not intended for that to happen. I only got it because it was skulls and this goes in Hill's space. Because it actually jived well. Though nonetheless, no. So, since we're having something literally get cut and done with, we're going to have to use the one that's not safe for the skin. This thing. I've had for years. Inside is the following. Cobwebs, oleander. If you don't know how poisonous oleander is, you simply touch it. Ugh, I feel sick. It is that poisonous. There's also incense dust. And there's one, in here too, but besides, it being, dyed with intentional red dye, and it's alcohol based. There's also the dirt of where a rat, got caught in a mousetrap. Some of that blood on that dirt that was bloody from it, right in here. That's not going on my skin. Nope. Don't even know. So, that being said, for that regard, that's why I have this. Because whenever you do anything magical, if you're going to be going to this craven extreme, use your head. This isn't Jackass Witchy Poo edition. Don't do it. Don't be stupid. So now, as you can see, that's on there. Simply take the blade. Just simply go over the blade just like that. Flip it over. Then go backwards up. And of course, if you're going to be going at a blade at it like this, be careful. Don't be dim-witted. Pay attention to what you're doing and ensure that you're not going to get your fingers cut. because that's not recommended. So now, this thing can be just thrown into le garbaggio, get it out of my life. And now this thing is now ready to inflict the game over screen. No, I'm doing crazy references. So, now that this thing's ready to game over, just like before with the Cell Knight, but now you simply visualize whomever, whatever is in front of you, and that attachment in front of you. And keep in mind, something having an attachment to you does not have to be another person. It could be to a place, spirit, heck, karmic energy, karmic stuff. Since it's attached to you, that doesn't mean you can't sever your connection to it. I didn't say nothing. But sure, you can do it that way. You can sever your karmic backlash just like that. Because it's attached to you. No more. But now say, as the example, there's that... I just drew a blank. There's that cord between you and whomever, whatever this thing is that's all woozy attached to you. And now you want to get rid of it. Simple. Just simply visualize between you and whomever or whatever, there's that cord in front of you. And just simply cut it. Now be careful though, because if you're using an anthem like this, or a bladed object, careful how you swing. Preferably you swing in a direction that's not going to jeopardize your standing, and do not have the blade face you this way, have it face away from you. And it could be just something as simple as this. It could go straight down just like that. It can go like that. It can go even, if you want to be extra, theatric. Just like that. However you deem fit to cut it, just make sure you don't hit yourself or anything, anyone around you. Because the last thing we want to have is someone doing a cord cutting and then somebody loses their right eye. Not only is your cord cut, but his sight has been removed in one eye. We do not want that to happen. Because that's going to be quite the very difficult thing to explain to the insurance company. How did he lose his eye? Well, let's just say he kind of got a little bit too close to a blade to inspect it, and yeah. That's how his sight decided to run away forever. But just simply, like in between you. Simple, just like that. Doesn't have to be too fancy. But now, say if you're not comfortable swinging a crystal or gemstone, or even a blade around you because you're afraid you might have a not the best grip and you're too clumsy, you're afraid that might go flying. It's valid and it makes sense, and I don't blame you. Sometimes it can be a little bit like, I don't know if I should be swinging this. But then again, I've had mixed martial arts training that eventually involved me swinging blades around on rope. So I'm comfortable with bladed objects spinning around my head and all over the place. I'm used to it, so I kind of have a bit more comfort than, the average Joe or whatever. So, the other way. You can actually make a figurine or make a clay or Play-Doh puppet of you and whomever else or whatever else. Face one another. Get something as simple as a rubber band. Just connect it to the two of you, or even a string. Then from there, you just get into a meditative state. State what intention that you're having these be and what they're representing. I'm trying to find. There's one thing I'm looking for, and I'm surprised I thought I had it in front of me, but then brownies again, so I'm going to grab another pair. I'm going to grab a pair of snips, so one moment. Okay. As I was saying before, are you guys for real? Oh, bloody brownies. They just put my scissors back. But anyway. As I was saying, so you can simply have in front of you 2 little handmade figurines that are made of clay, Play-Doh, and there's a string attached to them. Simply just visualize and then take simply Mr. Snip Snips right here. Just like that, cord cut. And if you want to be extra fancy with it, after the cord snip, take the thing that was attached to you, throw it out the window. Just make sure when you throw it out the window, you don't hit anybody in the head with it. Because if you snip, oh, that's so bad if I say it that way. If you snip the tip, don't throw it outside and hit anyone in the head with it. Well, of course, because that would be just completely like, oh, sorry, you should have ducked. But now you got that on your head. Just, metaphorically speaking. Once it's cut, take whatever was attached to you or to that puppet, just put it in a spot where it's going to be long gone. Garbaggio, for one. You can do that. Yep, I know. That's just my humor. It's just like, oh, the tip's been snipped. Away with it. Oh, sorry, dude. You should have ducked. You saw it coming. Oh, whatever. And there's... what else is there? And to classify this kind of a working, cord cutting and attachment removal, it's not malefic. You could even do cord cutting or removing attachments, even to like somebody that you're close with, and you need to sever that for a little bit just to get your headspace back in. Because when you have many attachments out, it affects your thinking and affects your mind, and it does take a toll on you. Just because it's cut off and removed doesn't mean that you can't reconnect. That doesn't mean you can't ever reconnect again. Unless this is a connection that you want gone there, gone there, gone there. Body, heart, mind, off with you. Yep. Any form of blade, snip, selenite, what have you. Or even just use your hand. Just grab it, go. Just visualize that you're grabbing a hold of it, off with you. Even if it's like not in the, like someone's affecting you on the physical, emotional, like with the heart, pluck it out, fling it. Mental, off with it. Spirit, because that's the thing that I always continuously say. If it exists, and if you're aware of it, you can target it and affect it. Will you be able to? I don't know. That depends on you. But if you can acknowledge it exists, and you know that it's there, you can target it. You can affect it. Will you though? I don't know. That's up to you. It's all on you. However you do it, that's up to you. Will it work? I don't know. That's up to you. At the end of the day, it all comes down to what makes you believe, okay, that tip snipped. Gone. Nope. Nope, it's been snipped. Nope, gone. You can't put that back on. It's gone. Unless if you choose to reconnect with that person. But that's up to you. And like what I said, there's no such thing as this being used in a way that is just being malefic. But now keep in mind this. If you have a child and you're doing this to sever ties with it and neglect it, no. Don't do that. Don't do it that way. But now also sever ties between, like say, if you're say like a mother of a child and the father is a twathead, abusive, cord cut for both of you. Because if the child is not able to comprehend this on their own, or they're young like an infant, cord cut his tush and his head. Off with him. Don't need that around you or the kid. So give him a good tip snip. That'll learn him. That'll teach him to not be a twat no more. Just snip his tip. Because really, at the end of the day, there is really no right or wrong way to do this. It's just the cord cutting. It's usually best done with sympathetic magic or visualization, which is the simple pluck it and fluck. Pluck it and fluck it. No, that doesn't make any sense. Pluck it and fling it, not... Okay, well, pluck it... Never really, that'll work. No. Really, it's not really something difficult. It's just... The best way to do it is just to do it. I have this connection and this attachment to this twat head, and I'm done with it. Off with it. As I've also said, keep it simple. The more simple you make it, the less headache you get. And you really want less headaches. Because the world and you have way too much. You don't need any more headaches. Than just trying to make something be all fancy and overkill and too mind-burdening. Because that's not going to help at all. So, that's pretty much what I got for cord cutting. That was only 30 minutes. No, I thought it would be longer. But I'll leave this for open floor. Then I'll be ending this live and then starting a new one. And I'm actually going to be going over a little part, like one of the parts of my book. One that I just released, The Dark Goddess Who Stays in the Shadows. I'm going to read just a little segment of it from it. And I'll just see how that goes. Because it's actually going to be talking about something that has been going on a bit too long in the occult magic community. And I've been seeing it, been told about it, and I'm getting kind of annoyed with it. To the point where it's just like, really, people? Really, men? Really? Really, dude? Come on, honey. You're not new here. It's like, really? You need to have, speaking of women for dummies? Or, approaching a woman for dummies? Wow, okay. Okay. I never thought I'd be teaching grown men this, but you know what they say. Sometimes you really gotta give them a good, metaphorically hit upside the head. Teach them that that's not okay. Okay. So, are there any questions or no? But yeah. That's what the cover looks like. So if there's no questions, I'm probably going to just end this live and then start a new one and actually be reading about, let's see. I'm just going to pick out the page real quick. Or unless if you want me to actually read the origin story. Unless you want me to read the origin story. Anything with the asteroid Juno? What about the asteroid Juno? What do you want to know about that? Yes, it's actually technically also Hera. So what do you want to know about Juno? Like what her effects are? Now again with those, stop it. Stop speaking and making creepy noises, people. Not you guys. The spirits again. They're like, stop it. The joys of being aware. Okay. Open your third eye, they said. It would be fun, they said. And also keep in mind, Juno in the first house. Okay, well, first off, we have to understand what Juno is. It is believed, and I'm saying believed because I'm not fully, completely, 100% saying confident that this is what it is. I can only go off based off pretty much, because when I learn astrology and I study this stuff, I only go look up things that it's relating to. Because since Juno is relating to Hera, Queen Hera from Greek mythology, Zeus's wife, and Juno from Roman mythology, Jupiter's wife, this is the thing I get. Juno represents essentially the devoted marriage and connection, and how one is able to connect to their significant other on a more conservative, devotional unionship way. It can also represent possibly how one handles affairs. Does somebody respond to affairs in a way that's explosive? Another one? Oh. Yeah. Zeus! Yeah, I'm not really fond of Zeus, to be honest. Because it's like, really, dude? You married her. And now you're getting upset because she's coming at you and backhanding you saying, stop sticking it elsewhere. So then you hang her upside down for that? Wow, some husband. I didn't stutter. And some people even say that, oh, Hera, Juno, she was just jealous. Well, almost every story with Zeus. No, she didn't. She actually didn't. Nope. Because the thing is, the reason why people say that she's jealous and always envious of Zeus's attention is because she was upholding her vow to Zeus. What was the vow? Unionship between one and another. That's why, in fact, she kind of has the right to cause a ruckus about that. And even then, too. Yeah, and even that, it kind of makes me think, Zeus. What do we not do with our wife? Eat her? Good. I would not have to think, somebody would have to be told that, but still. I couldn't resist, but Hera. Since she had dominion over marriage, which she did, her being upset a what? She's a goat eater? I have never heard that, so I can't really say. Although she is associated with cows, and that's also the sign of Taurus, and she's also associated with the planet Moon as well. In fact, that's probably the most appropriate planet for her. Oh, Kronos, yeah, because Kronos, whenever there's a child, bam, he nommed him. Well, here goes to tell you. Daddy, stop eating the kids. Oh, honey, I just ate the kids. Again? Killing me, dude. But when Hera and Zeus got married, everyone, as it said, attended the wedding. Except one nymph. That one nymph that was... I'll get there. Wait a minute. There's one guest missing. Where is she? Hermes. Go find her. Bring her here. Okay. Hey. Woman. Huh? What? Where the heck are you? You need to be up here at Olympus. Hera and Zeus are getting married. You've been invited, and you better hurry up. Oh, okay. Come on, woman. Take another step. Hurry up. A few hours later. I'm here Where is everybody? Hermes just goes up to her. They've been gone. Sheesh. It's been over for like 20 hours, woman. Where the heck have you been? I'm sorry, I just couldn't. Stick it. Turtle. That was the only guest that did not attend the wedding because she was so slow and so slothy. So she got turned into a turtle. So, with that in mind, Hera, it can be said, if everybody that's attended their wedding, everybody, at least to her standing and her viewpoint, all of you know that I'm married to him. All of you. So if any of you go with him behind my back, you're guilty because you all know there's no excuse. Just saying. If everybody attended the wedding, they know about it. So if Hera gets upset and table flips on someone, she has the right to. There's nothing that person can do except attempt to really try to get towards her to let her know that Zeus is trying to stick it to them. Which, I don't think there was much effort done by a lot of people. Because it's completely different if there was someone that Zeus was pursuing, goes towards Hera like, Queen Hera, your husband's trying to stick me. He won't stop. That might have been, possibly a saving grace. Maybe. But we don't know because it didn't happen. It just happened. Then Hera went after whoever he stuck it to. Which was kind of unfair after the fact that he hanged her upside down by 2 anvils. And she vowed never to swing at him again, which I kind of think, like, oh, okay. Just because now you won't get swung at by your wife, you're going to use that as a means to have immunity to go and be sticking it elsewhere? Wow, some king of Olympus. Not much of an example, in my opinion, to look up to, like, okay, that's not leading by example, dude. That's none of my business. Maybe it really should have been Hades who should have been the one at the top. Baby, don't look at me. Oh yeah, I think was his name Prometheus? I think it might be. I'm not sure. Oh man, yeah. It's like, oh boy, wait a minute. Who took the flamin'? Who took our flamin'? Oh, him. Get him! Oh, we just lost our flame stick. Now we have to, send him to Tartarus for that. But specifically, still back, yeah. But Juno in the first house. Now the thing is with Juno and Prometheus. That's good. But now asteroids. Keep in mind, asteroids are, and although technically, and she also did not like Athena, even though Athena came from Zeus only. She did not like Athena, which is interesting. Yep, it is unfair, but the way that Herod's looking at it, if she was not their mother. So she did not have a good liking to them. And she did also swing, I know, at Apollo's and Artemis's mother. I do remember that. Oh, yes. This thing that I've had for years. Although now, having Juno in the first house, well, put it this way. You have Hera in your head. Yeah. Hera is now part of your, pretty much now you're embodying an aspect of Hera into you. Hera now becomes part of your thoughts, meaning that you have this expectation that you are a figure that is needing to be respected. Yep. Which, don't get me wrong, that was not the best move, my queen. My queen, that was not the best move. I can't protect you that from the lady, so we're gonna have to fall through that one. But either way, it is what it is, and I mean, I can only defend her in the parts that she can't be defended on. But with that one, child abandonment. I'm sorry, my lady, you're gonna have to take the fall for that one. But here in the first house, it does, well, Juno in the first house, it does show that a part of this person's personality is having a high moralistic code of unionship between one another, like one and self. And there was this feeling of having a more royalty feeling, if that makes sense. The thoughts are focused on having unionship to a really respectable, considerate, and best way possible, but then again, depending on the sign. It also shows that the physical body may also have a kind of an appearance of a queenly figure. So, with retrogression, people think that when the planet is, or an asteroid or any kind of celestial body is going backwards, it's bad. Well, I'm going to debunk that. Because when retrogression happens, the Earth is much closer to it. When something's much closer, it hits harder. So the effects hit more. But now, when a planet is direct and somebody has it retrograde, the effects may sometimes not be the best. But now when it goes retrograde and somebody has it with a retrograde already, they're going to feel this is natural. While everybody else who doesn't have a retrograde may not be the best for them. But usually it's best to have planets that are deemed or labeled as malefic, like Mars, Saturn, Shani, Neptune, Uranus, definitely that little shithead Pluto. Rahu and Ketu are always retrograde, but they're still little wackos. But primarily like Saturn retrograde, like I have. Saturn retrograde pretty much becomes, instead of being like an old, angry, old geezer, he's, for some reason now, he's an old geezer that is able to do cartwheels and backflips. And he feels like he's back into his prime of his 20s. And he's like in his 90s now. Yeah. But specifically, Juno retrograde, the effects of Juno are a bit stronger, but they're more internalized. So internally, you hold yourself to a really high standard when it comes to relationships and connections and marriages and stuff like that. And home life, you hold yourself to a really high standard as Queen Hera would. That makes sense. But I'm going to end the stream here, and I'm going to change the topic to what I was going to be reading from. Actually, I may not read from the book, but I'm going to make this known about the thing or whatever. So I'm going to change the live title, make a new live, and then we'll just continue from there. Because yeah, this one's going to be a doozy, and it's probably going to be one that's going to make some people be like, I've never seen him this mad before. Just wait.